Hi all, welcome to Tvs Tree Technologies. If you're visiting this channel at first time, then please like, share and subscribe this channel. Okay, thanks. Okay, in this section, we are going to discuss about the difference between Spring Framework and Spring MVC and Spring Boot. Okay, first of all, we can see about Spring Framework. Okay, for Spring Framework, we can also call it as Spring Core Framework. Okay, uh, Spring Framework is all about dependency injection, which means it's about defining the dependencies, identifying the dependencies, and auto wiring them. You can define the dependencies by using variety of annotations. For example, at the rate auto component or at the rate auto service, at the rate service, like these components. Okay, at the rate auto component, or you can use at the rate auto at the rate service also. Okay, once we define the dependencies, we need to identify them by using at the rate component scan. Okay, you need to use at the rate component scan for identifying those dependencies. Okay, identifying those dependencies by using component scan on specific package and identifying all the components which are defined in there. Once components ready and identified them, you can just auto wire them. What you need to do? Just auto wire by using auto wired annotation. Okay, here by using other component, we are just defining the components, and by using other component scan, we can identify in the components in the specific package. Once we defining and identify the components, then just auto wire them. Okay, this is about Spring Framework. So the, so that's why we are calling this as core framework also. Okay, but uh, Spring Framework, it's only this is not about dependency injection. Here we need to for if you want to build other applications, so we need to use other frameworks also. For example, if you need to talk to a database, so you need Hibernate or JPA. Okay, for database, if you want to connect to a database, so you need Hibernate or JPA framework. Okay, Hibernate or JPA framework you need. Or if you want to write a unit test, you need JUnit or Mockito frameworks. So here Spring models and Spring projects are extending the Spring ecosystem. So and it's provide good integration with other frameworks like as we mentioned here, Hibernate, JPA, JUnit, Mockito for unit testing. Okay, so the core of Spring framework is the dependency injection and Spring modules and Spring projects, and to extend the Spring ecosystem and integrate easily with other frameworks. Okay, this is all about Spring framework. Okay, coming to next one, Spring MVC. Spring MVC, it's all about web applications. It's all about web applications and REST APIs. Okay, and REST API. So Spring MVC, this is the Spring module. Okay, Spring MVC is the Spring module. We can call this as Spring module. So the focus of Spring MVC is simplify building web applications and REST API. Okay, it only focuses on web applications and REST API. Before Spring MVC, the most popular framework was struts. Okay, but building web application by using struts was very complex because there was lot of tight coupling involved in this. Okay, struts provides tight coupling. To avoid this, we are using Spring MVC because Spring always supports the loose coupling. Okay, loose coupling between the objects. So we are encouraging this framework nowadays. So here what type of annotations using a at the rate controller, at the rate rest controller, at the rate rest controller, at the rate rest sorry at the rate request mapping. Here you need to map the particular URL. Suppose you can use users. Okay, like this we can use. Earlier when we build REST API, make sure of REST controller and request mapping we are using. For both Spring and Spring MVC, we need more configurations where we need on pom.xml, and for web.xml for Spring MVC applications, and for application context.xml. Okay, so here in pom.xml and web.xml and application.xml, we need to mention lot of configurations, which means dependencies. We need to mention dependencies manually. So to avoid this, Spring Boot came into the picture. Okay, to avoid this, Spring Boot came into the picture. So what Spring Boot helps us means the goal of Spring Boot is to build a production ready applications very quickly. To build a production ready applications very quickly. Okay, and the key features of Spring Boot are starter projects and auto configuration. So when we talk about starter projects, it is easy to build variety of application. So if we want to develop a web application, the web starter would bring into all the dependencies that are needed. Okay, so by using auto configuration, it would eliminate need to configuration to set up Spring MVC and other frameworks. It automatically provides the default configurations based on whatever we needed in based upon class path. Okay, which means by using this Spring Boot, it's eliminating the manual process for dependencies in pom.xml. It automatically provides the dependencies in pom.xml by using start.io.starter in web. For example, this one. Okay, go to the any one of the browser. Here you just type it as start.spring.io. It means Spring initializer. So this is about starter project. Here you just select whatever the requirements you needed. Suppose select project name Maven and language Java, and Spring Boot select the some version, and project metadata you just provide the package name and class name here, and you just mention the jar file and select the Java version, and here in the dependencies you just select whatever you needed to your project. Okay, once you selected those, okay, you just click on generate. It will download the 1 zip file. Just you can extract those and you can import to your you can import this into your IDE like Eclipse. Okay, so this is all about starter projects. So by using auto configuration we can eliminate the manual process for dependencies. Okay, so in addition Spring Boot also enables the number of non-functional requirements. It also provides non-functional requirements. For example, for normal Java applications, we need to download Tomcat server manually. But here, if you download, but just selecting embedded server, it simplifies the deployment of your applications. So no need for separate apps application servers. Okay, and for if you want to monitoring our applications, we can use Spring Actuator. Okay, it will help to monitoring the our applications. Okay, next it will also helps to provide logging and error handling. So which means Spring Boot also provides default logging and error handling, and Spring Boot also supports the multiple environments. So Spring Boot simplifies the application configuration through configuration properties and profiles. By using profiles and configuration properties, we can match the environment properties. Okay, and we can ready with the production ready applications very quickly. So this is the all about Spring and Spring MVC and Spring Boot. So the main thing for so the key difference for Spring MVC, Spring Boot is Spring supports completely core things, and Spring MVC supports the web applications, and Spring Boot is it is the wrapper for Spring and Spring MVC, which means it will simplify the Spring and Spring MVC applications. In normal Java world, we are talking about normal applications and enterprise level applications, right? For normal Java, we are just using core Java, right? And for enterprise applications, we are using servlets and JS, right? So same like here also. Spring MVC. Spring means it's a core part. Spring MVC means it supports a web part. So Spring Boot means it supports the it just supports the it's an enhancement for Spring and Spring, which means it is easy. It's just a wrapper to that makes easy to use Spring MVC and Spring. Okay, this is all about Spring and Spring MVC. Okay, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe this channel. If you have any doubts, you can comment in comment section. Thank you, viewers.